Welcome to another episode of Business Monday, where we have different entrepreneur, different business owner coming to our space to share with you their tips of the trade. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that every single business owner will experience, the chaos. During the chaos, we can lose our focus and also affect our clarity in what we're doing. So when your business suffer, your profits suffer as well. And as we know, as a business owner, if we do not making profit, our business is not going to last for long. So today I have a business expert, Alison, here. Hi, Alison. Thank you for coming up onto our show today.
Oh, you're welcome, Martha. Thank you so much for having me on.
So please tell us a little bit more about your background.
Sure. I'm a business coach. I've been doing that for around about 13 years, helping small business owners move out of the chaos and into clarity, into profit, and really making their business work for them rather than slaving at their business. 72% of Australian business owners don't pay themselves more than the minimum wage. That's a scary stat.
Yes.
So it's time to change that statistic. I don't think that we need to be like that. If you're going to put all the effort into having your own business, let's make it profitable, so that you can actually have a life and do those things that you wanted to do in the first place.
Oh, I hear you because I find that a lot of business owners don't understand the foundation of a business. What does it need? Like, it's not just about having an idea and then sell. It's more about understanding what the market is. So you can take the client into a buyer's journey of where they need to go. So it is a continual process because I think some of us do get what we call a lucky break. We may do really well when we first started, but because there was no backup and no foundations to our business, and it makes it crumble very easily. So I believe
100%.
that that's where you can bring in the value to us.
Absolutely. And, so many business owners so good at what you do,
Mm,
but not have a lot of business acumen to back that up, which is what you're
mm.
saying, that there's more to business than just being good at what you do. And yes, you might start off well, or some people don't, and it takes a while, but you might, get off the ground. But it's also sustainability. And if you're doing well, that's great, but you have to keep wanting to. The desire to expand needs to continue to be there, because what I find too is circumstances change,
Mm.
environments change, markets change. So if you don't have that continual growth focus and also the knowledge seeking focus as well, it doesn't take a lot for the business to fall backwards or fall down, due to changing market conditions. And there's always a level of unpredictability that we can't predict. There is no such thing as staying the same. I hear businesses, oh, I just want to keep it the status quo. But there is no such thing, right? And that is a trap for a business owner to get into, to think, well, I'll just keep it the same as it is. If you are not growing, you are dying. And there are no two places other than those two places. There's nowhere in between.
Oh, I hear you because so many of us are not willing to give up the investment that we were doing. And then instead, we're starting to chase what we call the shiny objects. We keep chasing shiny objects. Oh, what is the next best course that I can actually do? And then do that. Instead of like, okay, coming back into the ground, get a business coach, get someone that who can actually analyze your business. This is what you need to go from here. This is your planning that you need. And I can understand how painful that is as well. And it is scary to a lot of us when we have to really dive in into looking into that. So, what are your top tips for business owner to maximize their result?
Absolutely. First and foremost, that you actually have to know what your goal is. And I know
Mm,
that sounds simplistic, and it probably sounds a little bit crazy saying it out loud, but the number of business owners that I ask, what's your goal? And they say to be successful, which is FYI, not a goal,
mm,
right? Because most then, okay, well, what does that mean? They haven't defined what that is. That's
yes.
not a goal. How do you measure that?
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, you've got to know where you're shooting. What
Yeah.
are you actually aiming for? And stop lowering the goal. Oh, it would be nice if I just did. But is that
Yes.
going to change your life? Is that what you actually want? Because then we get into this whole thing where we lower the target, we lower the goal, and now we're not motivated and we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And we think we've lost our mojo. Well, no, you've just lowered what you think you can do so much that you can't be bothered getting out of bed to do it. Right.
Yes.
We need to create goals that are bigger than the problems that we're in, because
Yes.
otherwise we're not going to get out of that problem. There's not enough game in it to do something. So number one, first and foremost, you need to be clear on your goal.
Mm.
And then from there, reverse engineer it, do the actual math
Mm.
on that goal. And what that allows you to do by reverse engineering it, that allows you to give you targets all the way down to, what do I need to do on a daily basis? How many people do I need to talk to? How many products, how many services do I need to sell in order to reach that goal?
Mm.
You've also got then the other sides, right? That's the mechanics of knowing where you're going and knowing what your goal is. Then there's you as the business owner. How are you looking after yourself? Because if you're burnt out, then that's not good either. How
Mm.
can you perform and expect your business to perform at a really high level if you don't look after you?
That's true.
Or if you're going to get up and you are running on the smell of an oily rag, right? Or poor input, poor output. That is both physically and mentally. What are you putting into your mind on a daily basis in order to control your mind? Like, are you just looking at everything that's going wrong? Are you watching the news, the doom and gloom? Or are you feeding your mind with things that are going to help you move forward? Are you feeding your body with things that are going to allow you to feel nourished to be able to perform at a level? Business is a performance sport,
Yeah.
and it takes you looking after you. Get enough sleep. Since when do we need to do so much that we deserve to rest?
Yes.
What if we rested so that we could perform?
Yes.
So look after yourself in order to be able to perform at the level you want. Know what your goals is, and then look for two other things. I think is do a time analysis, because most people complain they don't have enough money, don't have enough time. Our two biggest excuses that I hear come out of people's mouths. But
Yes.
if I sit down and do a time analysis with you, I guarantee you I can find hours on end where you're wasting time and being inefficient. So do a time audit and then put a schedule in place, a tight schedule where you actually, put in place what you're doing on a daily basis.
Mm.
Like, run a schedule, run a routine, because discipline will get you through those moments. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. But consistency and discipline gets through you any motivation. Motivation is not a factor in your goal. Whereas I
Mm.
don't feel motivated. I'm like, I don't feel motivated most days.
Mhm.
So what's that got to do with it? Right?
Yes.
I have a goal. I need to get things done. So what
Mm.
if I'm not motivated? When you get moving, you suddenly feel a whole lot better.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And a lot of us get stuck in that mindset that of all of the doom and gloom. And then we feel like that, oh, we're stuck in burned out and all of that. And I love the way that you explained it, like, how to keep the functions going. So would that be your best tip to share with us, just to have a schedule and get us off our asses to actually have that, like, to prevent the burnout from happening?
Yeah, have a schedule, have goals, have a schedule. Make sure those two things, though, are aligned with your values,
Mm.
because often burnout will come from a misalignment with our values,
Mm.
or alternatively, we're stuck in a loss. Something went
Mm.
wrong and we're still stuck there emotionally. We haven't let it go. We haven't moved on from that loss. And I think,
Mm.
like, my background's as an athlete, and I think one thing as an athlete you
Mm.
learn to lose a lot. You learn to lose with dignity, because you will
Mm.
lose more than you will win. You will
Mm.
fail more than you will win. And if we can fail fast and accept that we're going to fail a lot, business is hard.
Mm.
Right? We're going to get beaten up and we're going to feel crappy a lot of the time, because business is outside your comfort zone. If you're looking to
Yes.
be comfortable, don't be a business owner. Go do
Yes.
something else, right?
Yes.
But then you got to think with that, being willing to be comfortable and being uncomfortable.
Mm.
as well. But though I do think keys, goals, schedule, and then, but have them in alignment with your actual values, what's
Mm.
important to you. Because if you are, you know, building this, all the success along the way, and you're missing some key values, yeah, great, you can get all the accolades in the world, but there'll be a hole inside that's missing.
Yes.
And that's what eats away at people, or they'll take actions that are in misalignment with their values in order to get the goal, and then sabotage yourself because you did something that wasn't in alignment with your values. That doesn't mean you won't do things outside your comfort zone. That's not the same thing.
Mm.
You will need to do things that are far outside your comfort zone in order to create a successful business. I'm talking about your actual values. So identify what they are and align your actions towards your, well, hopefully your goals are aligned with your values, but align what that is. But it's personal to you. No one else can define that. Someone can help you define it. And then the other thing is, ask for help. The most sane thing in the world is to ask for help.
Mm.
We often do try, and particularly as women, we think, oh my goodness, I've got to do it all on my own. Oh, but I can't tell anyone that I'm struggling. Like
Mm.
I've got, I've got to put on this front. And what if people find imposter syndrome? What if people find out I don't know what I'm doing? Or what if people find out that I'm scared? Or what if people find out that I'm struggling? Well, welcome to business. Everyone is, right?
Yes.
So it's so normal. But asking for help is sane. Not asking for help and just struggling all on your own is insanity. It's
Yeah.
not sane. It's not a, so being willing to ask for help and accept it, because often we might ask for it, but then we reject it because it doesn't necessarily come in the package we thought. Or, oh, I don't know if I want to get that uncomfortable, or I don't want to, you know, I don't want someone following me up. It's like, yeah, but you're not doing it yourself. It's okay to have someone follow you up. Do I like that? Not really, but I know there are times when I need it
Mm. I believe
because
so
I'm not
too.
following through.
Mm. It's so true. I was talking to a business owner recently, and then when I was like trying to offer some help, and I realized that what she is not in the right mindset to even open a business. She's not been able to be seen. She's not been able to be heard. She have trouble connecting with people. She's in that mindset that of feeling that she's not been able to being seen, to be heard. And I'm thinking that like in business world, if no one knows that you're selling a fish, how they can come over and buy that fish? Having a website, having a group, having all of that doesn't mean nothing if you don't tell people what you do.
Yes. What's the point of, I hear I'm the best kept secret.
Yeah.
Well, what, you are not going to have a successful business being the best kept secret. And why do you want to
Yes.
be the best kept secret if your services, that is just a disbelief in your own services?
Mm.
Because if you actually believed in your own services, you would be raving from the rooftops about it. And so you should be. People
Mm.
need to know that you exist in order to do business with you, and continually. And we need to be omnipresent. We need to be seen everywhere. And we're so often afraid to put ourselves out there. I don't want to put myself on the camera. I don't want to put myself out too much out there. That's like saying, well, I don't really want anyone to know that I'm in business.
Yeah.
It's like, well, sometimes you just have to get over yourself and do those hard things. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Of course it is. And the first number of times you do those things, Martha, you completely suck, right? But
Yes.
we haven't done it before. So you have to be like, would you tell your child, I don't do that. Don't even try to do that in case you look like an idiot,
Yeah.
until you're really good at it. No, don't try and walk. Like, we don't want you to fall over. We don't want you to look silly.
Mm.
Like, just walk when you've mastered walking.
Yeah.
Well, how are they going to master walking if they don't have the space to fall over and look ridiculous? And, when we're putting ourselves out there, whether it be face to face to new people, whether that be online, we think, oh my gosh, someone might see it.
Mm.
Hallelujah if they see it, because that could be a
Yes.
client. Isn't that the point? Right.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
sometimes we don't want someone to see it because we're so worried about what they say. Give that up. Who cares? No, what people think about you is no one else's business. But
Mm.
if you don't put yourself out there, you won't have a business. And yeah, it's not easy, but that's why coaches and other support networks are there to cheer you on and go, yeah, you can do it, keep going. Don't worry if your first video or post or whatever isn't great, because
Yeah.
like the likelihood of someone seeing it is pretty small anyway. So by
Yeah.
the time you get good at it and you've done a number of them, that's when people are probably going to start really seeing it anyway.
Yeah.
And your cheer squad, your support squad, will be going, yay, you did it. Woohoo. You put yourself out there. Yes, you will get criticism, but you're getting criticism walking down the street anyway. People are so
Mm,
judgmental, right? They're going to judge you one way or another.
exactly.
Why not you be in control of the judgment?
Yeah, and also how to flick it off as well. Like when people are judging you and things like that, remember this, what they judge, I always say this thing, fear, okay, hate come from fear and judgment come from insecurity. So they judge
Absolutely.
because of their insecurity. It has nothing to do with you. Yes, it hurts, but we need to learn how to brush things off so we can be tougher and be someone that other people can look up to.
And I remember two things, right? Um, in terms of that criticism, the people who are achieving more than you, they're not going to be the ones that are criticizing you.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, if someone's pointing the finger at you, guess what? There's three fingers pointing back.
Oh, that is so beautiful. It is so true. You only see those people who are what I call like people trying to act smart. Those are the troublemakers. Those are the one that who are scared, who are living in fear, who are not being open-minded. So they are not the right type of business owner to open a business. That's why 90% of people fail within the first 2 years of starting their business. A lot of the times that it doesn't work because they don't have the right guidance and the foundation to go with it. And that's why it is important to talk to someone like yourself to understand what a business is like. So please tell our listeners and audience, how do they reach you?
Absolutely. So they can jump on my socials, which is at the Alison Wheeler Coaching, or they can jump on my website, which is thealisonwheeler.com. I've got my book on there. I've got a quiz on there they can jump on and do to understand themselves a little bit more, and they're particularly around their business leadership. And I do also offer free strategy sessions, which anyone is more than welcome to jump on and book in.
Wonderful. I will put that onto the show notes today so everyone can jump on and book in a call. It's not about anyone selling you anything. It's more about is that service or product is aligned with you, and that will help you. I always say don't chase for shiny object until you know what you want first. Once you know what you want, then break it down layer by layer, because that's how you're going to achieve this plan, this manifestation, this goal that you're going to do. Thank you, Alison, for jumping on today and sharing that with us. It's just been so amazing talking to you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Martha. I do hope that I brought value to your audience. And yeah, like I said, it's a free strategy session. It's about helping each other, right? And then
Definitely.
from there, whatever happens, happens.
Wonderful. So thank you once again. And thank you for all our audience and listeners for joining us again on Business Monday. I look forward to seeing you next week.